Hey, welcome to the podcast with Jackson Pearce. Still to come up with a name, thinking interview or the platform. So, who knows? I'm here with legend, Pastor Levi Marychurch, all the way from Ottawa, in Canada. Man, it's good to have you on.
Pleasure to be here, bro. I like those working names, bro, for the podcast. And it's an honor to be here, man. I'm glad that we've got the technology available to us, and always enjoy chatting with you, Jackson. Thanks for having me.
How are you, bro?
I'm good, bro. How are you going?
Hey, I'm doing well.
What's happening, man? What have you been up to?
Hey, I'm living in Sydney. I'm at college, studying at college, and just working.
Oh. Yeah, nice. What are you doing working-wise?
I'm doing marketing for like a European car parts company, which is pretty rad.
Yes. Yeah, that's cool, bro. Yeah, and how long have you been in Sydney? This last year, eh? Second year now.
Yeah, nearly 2 years. Actually, shivers. It's like April. Yeah, nearly 2 years. So I finished college in...
Time flies, bro.
Oh, bro, it's nuts. It feels like I've been here forever, but I got here yesterday.
Yeah, totally.
It's like, I don't remember not being here, but it feels like yesterday that I got here,
Yeah. When did you get there? 2018?
Yeah, July.
Wow, okay. Well, bro, you've been in Sydney about the same amount of time as we've been here in Canada.
How is it?
Isn't that crazy?
Right. That's nuts. Said it was just me, but your whole family moved. So it's like...
Yeah, totally. No, we're good, man. Kids are good, family's good, we're strong and healthy. Our church was going really well until the world stopped. And now I couldn't tell you how it's going. I don't know. I've got no... we had...
I haven't been to church in weeks, man, so...
Oh, there's more backsliding Christians, bro, at the moment than there have been, in my lifetime.
Oh, look, nothing's changed.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's fair. Now, and now you can just backslide without feeling bad about it.
Oh, mate, it's crazy. Hey, I realised
crazy
how much more effort you've actually got to put in to engage on online church.
Oh, totally, bro. And I think too, I read this good article. I think it was New York Times released an article. Maybe it was New York Times. Anyway, regardless, it was a reputable source, and it was saying the question was why do you feel drained after Zoom meetings? And it was essentially saying you do work on Zoom, you work all day on screen, and then after that you then catch up with friends, family. So it's like all of your compartmentalized groups are all now on this one platform.
Yeah.
And, and also too, they also said that the slight delays in reactions mentally give us negative feelings of impatience or frustration, and they're largely negative in association.
Whoa.
So even that time delay, ever so slight time delay, it wears you down mentally after a while. So it's all these interesting.
You're wearing me down.
Yeah. Oh, look, even just being on this call with you, I'm already tired.
Well, it's nuts how I was thinking, because we've got church, right? We've got community. But I was realizing for so many people, especially here in Sydney, commuting to the city, going out, they miss that. And then, for me, I'm in my room. I work in my room, sleep in my room. I'm gaming in my room,
Yeah.
All of a sudden, your work-life balance, which I thought I had before, in your face. Nuts.
Crazy, eh? Yeah, it's a weird, the world is weird. And not to overlook the illness, the death, the frontline workers and people that are really making it happen. Really, for the rest of us who are relatively unaffected, which is billions of people, it's just this weird time of life where we're going to look back in the annals of history, and this will be an absolute bookmark, like a chapter in history. But for the most part, it just feels totally weird,
Yeah, it is. It is nuts. Eh? It's weird.
It's nuts, bro.
How many people have gotten sick in where you are?
There are in Ottawa. There have been more recovered cases than current cases.
That's good.
But there are, there are thousands of deaths across Canada. But I think overall Canada's in a good space in terms of flattening the curve. Really doing a good job of social distancing. So you get Italy or America on one side, and then you get a New Zealand on the other. New Zealand, I think, is 0.01 fatality rate.
You guys
are crazy.
didn't even hit a curve. Like,
That was nuts, eh? And Canada's probably somewhere in the middle, I think.
Yeah, crazy.
That's probably my overall read. Yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't get any symptoms or feel sick or anything like that?
No, we're solid, bro. We've been really good. You know, I've just been, just every time you have that that dry cough, bro. You know, if you have a cough, you're like, oh no, it was a bit phlegmy.
Yeah, mate. The first week when everyone got sent home, and like everyone changed pace. You know, when people go on holidays, they get sick because they've just been running flat out. They have one break, the wall. I reckon there was so many people like that. People like, I've got it. This is it. I'm done. Like I woke up cold night. Slept in near nothing, and woke up with dry throat. I was like, there I go. I'm done. That's me. Gone. But I was fine.
It's over. Yeah. And also the seasonal change too, because here on this side of the world, it's coming into spring. Well, it's been a month of spring now. So you're getting warmer weather. It's spring. There's pollen in the air. So then you got those symptoms as well. And for respiratory, like asthmatics, you know, it's already a tough time. And then on top of that, you got it could be a fatal disease.
Yeah. Pick your one. Pick your choice, eh?
Exactly, bro. And hey, can I just say something about the moustache there, brother?
Hey, I've had this for years, mate.
You're looking good, bro.
I'm loving yours.
Thank you, sir.
It's looking sharp.
Let me get it nice and close.
What do you reckon? Mate?
Yeah, you look good. Yeah, you're so young. It took you years to grow it, man.
Oh, mate, I've been growing this my whole life.
It's only just coming to fruition.
Mate, I'm 22, and I think you can just see it, with the shadow. Yeah, it's working.
I shaved this morning.
Kiwis, man.
I just came online. I just trimmed up the beard, left the mow, you know.
The 5 p.m. shave. You shave at 5 p.m., mate.
Exactly.
It just comes right through. Mate, thanks for jumping on the old video podcast. This is really cool.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Mate, it's good, mate. And I thought I could ask you a few questions, maybe about just moving, church, sport, of course. Mate, the last dance.
Please do. Oh, what a treat that was.
Ooh. You seen
what a shrewd businessman, eh?
Oh, Jerry.
That was no. I think what I'm getting at is MJ. So MJ has the footage.
Yeah.
Does nothing with it. Then puts it together, and then the release date. We're all at home. We've all finished our Netflix binge on whatever it might be, Ozark or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, bring this heat.
Apparently, I did see that he gave the okay after the 2016 finals when LeBron won. And he was like,
I saw that.
They were like, you're gonna have to, and he's like, obviously wasn't there. He's like, got to do it. And
I saw that, bro. Yeah, 2016. He's like, this is the one. Got to make it happen.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Side thing. How was moving to Canada and then the Raptors winning? How's are you a hardcore Lakers fan? And then I seen you.
Look, I'm not
take on the Raptors. No, I saw it. I've been following you. You all the Lakers.
The moment I landed in Canada, I thought, you know what, I need to be a Raptors fan for the people.
I love that. I'm with you.
And in the Old Testament, I think it's 2 Samuel 6 maybe, that the presence of God was in the house of Obed-Edom.
Okay.
And Obed-Edom was blessed.
Okay. All right.
I'm not saying I'm the presence of God.
No.
But what I'm saying is that where I go, the country is blessed. And since leaving New Zealand is the only time in 9 years New Zealand hasn't held the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
I'm not saying I've made an impact.
That's a big coincidence. You know what I mean?
I guess that's what I'm saying.
What are the odds? I guess
crazy odds.
Nuts. Yeah.
It's 1 in a million church planters. It's 1 in 7.5 billion. Those are the odds.
Man, I don't know who's doing your maths, but sure.
Well, how many other church planters are there from New Zealand moving to Canada right now in our lifetime?
Look, I couldn't give you a number, you know. Maybe you
Neither
can.
could I. And let's say there are others, but did they come in a timely fashion and win the NBA championship with the Toronto Raptors?
Did they win the championship? Okay, Drake.
I'm a distant chaplain.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I'm not involved. I'm not an official chaplain, but I'm here and I'm doing damage just because.
Yeah. You send a few DMs to the place.
No, not even that. I don't need to. I just need to move to the country and we win.
Okay, alrighty. I see that.
I didn't even need to be involved.
Back to the Last Dance. Big quote coming out of that one. You can't say Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen.
Love it.
Now, is that? I'm 22. I'm part of Gen Z. You know.
Yeah.
Can I use that as LeBron's the man?
Yeah.
Or is that a bit of MJ humility? Or what do we, you know? Can I say he needed Pippen?
Look. I think he did for sure. I think that the LeBron. Look, any alpha male, any number one dog needs a number two.
It's true.
Shaq needed, and the list goes on and on. LeBron moved to Miami to partner with Dwayne Wade, and then I think you get that third guy for sure. Whether that was Rodman or all those kind of things.
Rodman.
But I think that the LeBron James Michael Jordan debate rages strong, especially now post Last Dance.
Mm-hmm.
But I do wonder if you're onto something there with it being a nod towards humility from Michael, which we haven't really seen.
I can't remember. Did he say you can't say Pippen in the 90s or now? Was he sitting in the chair with the Cuban? You know what I mean? Like, did he say it in 98 or did he say it 2018 or whatever it was?
Yeah, no, true. I don't know actually. But regardless, I think that if he said it then, and it was not a quote that we remember, it was buried. But definitely now it resonates with who he is right now. Yeah. And I think that he's in that amazing position, bro, where because he's not Roger Federer. Roger Federer is in a position where he was the great. Now he's becoming neck and neck because Nadal just keeps winning. Djokovic just keeps winning. Like, tennis is really about four people at all times. Yeah. It certainly has been in our lifetime in the last.
I do love Kyrgios. He's my man. He's a punk.
Yeah, well, okay, big. That's big. Maybe we'll circle back to that. You like to support radicals. I like that. No, I mean, he's fine. He's talented, man. He's a bit of a goose, bro. I think Leighton Hewitt, bro, the great Australian.
Yeah. Come on. I love that. I would pitch to you the GOAT versus MVP oat. Greatest of all time versus most valuable player of all time. Because I think to define the GOAT, you've got to, like, what does the GOAT mean? Are they the greatest point scorer? Are they the best for them? Are they, because then depending on what you rank the GOAT as, you can lean LeBron, MJ. But then if you've got MVP, of all time, would you rather have LeBron on your team? If you were choosing a championship side and you could have one or the other, who would you rather?
I think that that's the really interesting thing that you raised there. Let me say a couple of things. Number one, the GOAT debate is very vague. The debate itself is raging. The people are not vague. Really, we're talking about 6 players. Hey, really, we're talking about 2.
Yeah. But
the definition of that is vague. That's the first thing I'd say. Second thing is, I think that look, LeBron is bigger, faster, stronger, with better stats.
Yeah.
And we'll pass him, we'll pass everybody in scoring. Yeah. But that's not really his number one kind of, it's probably not his mentality. People say it's not his number one skill. I think I think it is his number one skill. I think he's a better scorer than a passer, but I think he wants to make the right play, which is why he's averaging, 7-8 assists a game. But I think that when it comes to LeBron, what you're going to have in that debate is still a couple of things with MJ that really stand out. Despite the fact that era to era so hard. Number one, he's the only player in this discussion to have Defensive Player of the Year and scoring champion. 10-time scoring champ. And he's the only one to have DPOY and scoring champ same season.
That's big.
That's wild. So he was the best player on both ends of the floor. So that's amazing.
That's huge.
And then secondly, I think he was a pure shooter. Like he was 49.7% field goal percentage. So and remember he scored a lot at the rim early, but everything else was mid range. He only took 1.7 3-point shots from three, but in his best 3-point shooting year, he was 42% from three. So he was a better 3-point shooting percentage in his best year than LeBron was, only scoring taking 1.7 attempts from three. So let's say you give him 7-8 attempts like he would have this day and age. Bro, he retired on a 30 point per game average.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
And then 6 rings and clutch. So those are your debates with Michael. He has become this untouchable idol in these debates, which does frustrate me. I've certainly come around where I'm happy to give ground to LeBron fans because he's just such a weapon, bro.
Yeah.
My God. And watching him this year with AD has been a treat.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been. It's been cool. They traded a few guys, got a few guys in, moving around. Bummed that the season's gone, but we'll see how, what that looks like when it comes back, whether it helped or didn't.
And the way that the American politics are going right now, not to jump into politics here on this podcast, it's not why we're here, but to watch the way that they're going and then to see governors of states saying, yeah, man, we should, open the gym up and have contact sport because it's good for people and it's good for the economy. I'm like, yeah, as a fan, I'm like 100% yes. But also this flies in the face of what the rest of us are doing. No one's playing pickup ball. We're all at home watching The Last Dance, waiting for a chance to get out and rip,
Yeah, it is tricky. All right, taking a detour or a change of direction. I've done a bit of research on you, Levi. I had a little bit of a Google, and I'd love you to tell me the story of what happened when you're flying on a plane and the cabin filled with smoke. Can you tell me about, you had to turn around? I've heard, can you tell me more about what happened there?
Well, first of all, there's not much on Google about me.
Okay. Have you Googled yourself?
Years ago I did, when I had this random guy make these random sims about me.
Okay.
So he basically created a Levi avatar. So I was speaking at a church, and the church that I was speaking at, he was like an enemy. The church was like his enemy. So he would always make these avatars of the pastor and just rip them shreds. The guy had far too much time on his hands.
I'm sorry about that.
So he made one of me. And I was like, what the hell kind of random thing is this? But no, coming back to the cabin smoke, I don't recall that.
You don't recall that? Wow.
I don't think I've ever been in a cabin that's filled with smoke.
Oh, I got a news article with your name on it, mate.
Talk to me, bro.
Okay. Let me
bring it up.
Pull up the link. All right.
Yeah, bring it up.
Okay, here we go. It's 2012. It's October.
2012. Would have been in New Zealand.
I do believe so. No, Jetstar crew.
Oh, Jetstar, Christchurch.
Had to do a U-turn back to Christchurch International Airport. Wellington pastor, Levi Marychurch, 28, flew to Christchurch on an Air New Zealand flight yesterday, went to church last night. When the flight was turned around,
I remember that.
Everyone's pretty ticked off. I'm ticked off. Mate, how's that?
Is that what I said?
Yeah, I'm ticked off. I love that.
That's definitely a millennial, like a late 20s millennial word.
I'm ticked off. That's a pastor expressing frustration. That's what that is.
Man. Well, you know why there was smoke in the cabin though?
What were you doing? What?
I was smoking weed. What I was doing? No, I wasn't. No, of course I wasn't. But I was just preparing myself to be a legal Canadian. That's what I was doing. So I was in the bathroom.
Yeah. I thought it was the incense as you're going to church.
Smoking some weed.
Swinging that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Yeah, exactly. I was on the Catholic vibes, bro.
I love that, mate. I've got.
I was having a seance in the bathroom.
Shivers.
Little Ouija board.
Was it only six seats on the flight or something? Just some private jet you got going, or little.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Yeah. Drake Airlines.
Drake Airlines. All right, I've got some photos for you too. I found online. What are your first thoughts when I show you this?
Oh, that was, the funny thing about that, first thoughts are great outfit. Second thought, bad technique.
You learn more now? You're back?
I mean, look at it. First of all, it was a photo shoot for a magazine that my wife, and it was like a home and like a living home and garden magazine.
I read it. I did read it.
It was a good article and we looked great, but they were like, "Oh, we want you outside chopping wood." And I would chop wood every day. That's my axe. The name of the axe is Excalibur. May he rest in peace. And that was our home on Shelley Street, Wellington.
Yeah.
And there's a sick cardi, I love ugly pants, and my friend Sean Anderson, Stan Shawko toque, beanie, and a little beard ring there too. But I'm wearing nice clothes, chopping wood. So look, the back is bent, like everything about it. Oh, look at that. So that's Mika. Oh, she's gorgeous. And look at that. And again, the outfit in the back there, that's nice.
Yeah, look at it. And I got this one here. Oh, here we go. It's coming on the other side.
Oh yeah, look at that. So that, in fact, so Ryder there, what a champion he is. Nadia, gorgeous. Oh my gosh. The whole thing there, the whole outfit that I'm wearing is I love ugly. All three pieces of that outfit. So it was a shirt, the style of shirt is without the collar.
Yeah.
Sick, bro. I used to just wear that. I wore it out. I'm wore it so much. It was like
you wore it out and wore it out. I love that.
Yeah, I wore it out and wore it out.
Oh, mate, that's cool, mate. So you moved to Ottawa.
Yes, sir.
Nearly 2 years ago, same as me moving
to
Sydney. You packed up all your crew, all your whole family. How many was there then? Was all four?
All four kids, yeah.
Wow. You did that. How long was that on the books for? How long were you prepping to do that for? In terms of, okay, we're going, this is what we've got to...
No, not long, man. We finished up at work at a Rise at Wellington on the 30th of October, 2017. We had about a 3-month kind of transition.
Yeah.
And the conversation we started with John was earlier that year.
Wow.
So I'm talking probably less than a year, to the point where we're like, bang, man, I'm gripped with this dream.
Wow.
And certainly feel God's tug to go and start this church in Ottawa, quite clearly in Ottawa. And then once the conversation, so we talked to me and Naj are talking, praying, talked to a couple of key people, spoke with John. He's like, yep. He was like, wow, yep, where, he's like, what?
That's great, man. That's really cool to hear that from your pastor, to be like,
yeah, that meeting was great, bro. This is the most nervous meeting I've ever walked into, for sure, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Turned up 20 minutes early, sitting outside in the car. It was at their house. Sweaty palms, clammy, very nervous, bro. The house meeting, exactly. Yeah, I asked for it. He's like, oh, he comes to the office. I was like, oh, can we meet at your house? He's like, yeah, of course. So then he was like, yeah, this is the Lord. So then they blessed us financially, prayed us out, had a huge big party with the team and everybody. Then we went on a transition, moved to Auckland. So really it was probably like a year, less than a year, to the point of like, this is it, to touchdown.
Hey, that's nuts. I was like, me moving to Sydney was like 6 weeks between where I at church, words, visiting ministers. Hey, Jackson.
Yeah.
Pastor Jillian came. She's like, you're going to go a few places before, you settle. and learn and sit under the authority of those. And so I was like, all right, cool. And then I talked to someone down here, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. Next day, I was like, I talked to someone down here, and I was like, oh, I'm thinking about doing college. And they're like, oh, no way, that's really cool. Called me back, I don't know, that night. It was like, hey, bro, my wife was actually praying for you and felt like come to college this year. Didn't tell you. So if you come, we'll pay. We'll pay for your whole year worth of college. And so, I mean, I was 20. I didn't have any money. So going to college was like, oh yeah, I got to pay for that. So that was like open door. And then, 2 weeks later, I moved.
Yeah.
Quit my job, told my family, told my parents.
I love it. I'm about it, bro. I'm all about it.
Yeah, it was nuts. When you're moving, for other people that are moving or thinking about moving, what are the big things that before you moved that you were like, okay, let's nail this, let's do this, obviously in prayer and figuring that out with your wife, Nadia, as well. What were the big things you were looking for, trying to work out, I guess, before you moved? But then having moved, what were the big things, what did you put too much effort in? Or what were some things that you stressed a bit hard about? Or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think relationships is key. Making sure that you end well. I think that's huge. Friends, colleagues, the whole thing. And I think that's really, really important. We tried our very best to do that. No one's perfect, but you do your best, And I think talking with my mum was hard because my mum at the time wasn't a Christian. She's unchurched. So she didn't understand why we would go what is this hearing from God? And I have huge empathy for that. So those kind of things were important. Then I think we were thinking about, find a house, all those kind of things, get going. Yeah. But really when you move countries, or I think, probably cities less so, but definitely some of this stuff is applicable too. I think the more simple and formal things are crucial. Bank account, insurance, a place to live, money, a car, because those things are daily stresses that can really weigh on the mind. So if you go without a plan of, I've got to shift my banking, got to move my insurance, what am I going to do with my car? Do I have a vehicle? Where am I going to stay? Have I got gainful employment? If you don't have those things lined up before you go, you will spend more time caring about them and trying to figure them out, and it will become a waste of time if you had just thought about it. Because when you think about it in advance, you've got good headspace. Yeah. So you think logically. I'm with you. But when you're in the middle of it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is the end of the world. I've got nowhere to stay. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. Hey, what couldn't you have prepared for? What are the things that you got there and moved and you're like, oh, whoa, no one told me about this, whether that was a feeling or whether that was like, or, what are those things? Well, for you guys, Yeah, I think that, at the end of the day, a church needs three things. I think a church needs the presence of God. It needs God. If it doesn't have God, it's not a church. Yeah. The second, this is really loose. These things are barely biblical. The second thing it needs is people, really. If you don't have people, you haven't got a church. Yeah. And then the last thing it needs, it's not a huge necessity, but I think in the Western world, I think it is money. If you don't have money, you can't really do much. You're going to be bivocational, which is fine. I've certainly got nothing against that. No. It just means you can't spend as much time pastoring as you want to because you're juggling 2 jobs, wife, kids, all of that. But if the church can employ you and you can employ staff and you can do good things with the money that people are donating into the church charity, then you can do great things and you can gain momentum and change people's lives. Yeah, wow. So those 3 things really that if you don't have them, you don't have anything. And I was like, man, there's no one between us and God. There's no priest or pastor or leader that stands between the Lord. We've got to go directly to him for everything that we need, for all of our daily needs. Yeah, and I thought I was doing that already, but I realized I wasn't, How is that? I did think about asking that. How is that going from being under the anointing and the covering, the protection, the blessing of the Camerons, John Jillian, to having the freedom under them, which is quite wide in the protect.
to stepping out as your family, just going, okay, this, you know, your church, you're the pastor, the priest, the apostle almost, you know. So how do you go from that? Was there a big shift, like spiritually? Were you like, oh, this is it? Or was it kind of like, what was that?
Well, I think the way I kind of put it is you have leaders like John and Julian, you know, apostolic leaders. They're above you, but they're also under you. By that, what I mean is they are your go-to. You know, like if things fall over, at the end of the day, it's their name on the trust deed. It's them that's going to respond to God, like answer to Him. Like, so you go to them, they sign off, they give you parameters, and then you go about your job. They're also underneath you, and by that, what I mean is if you fall over, they pick you up. If you struggle, they'll help you. If you great leaders do that. So if you remove yourself from that picture, you now are the one that goes directly to God, and you now have no safety net. So you're on the trapeze now.
Yeah.
Walking that tightrope with no safety net. And so that's fine. But no one told me that it was going to be like that. And no one can tell you, I don't think, until you're in it, then you go, oh, okay, well, this is what it feels like. But I think spiritually you have to man up to that ownership of going, okay, I've got to go to God with a different faith, or there's an element of difference now to my conversations with God. Maybe they've matured. I'm not sure, but certainly when it comes to like church, if church is going poorly, I've got no one to look at but myself. If the presence of God, if we're not breaking through, if whatever's happening, then I'm looking in the mirror and going, okay, God, I'm trying to find you in this. I'm not making a phone call to someone to help. I need directly to go to you, you know?
Wow. That
makes sense.
That's cool. That's big, you know? Got to humble
yourself. Bro. Oh, 100%, bro.
That is very humbling. I love that. I love you guys. You know, I think you guys have done that very well. And I mean, where did I think I met you years ago. I think you came to a youth camp on the sunny coast with Dan Frecker, Anthony Frecker, legends.
Yeah, bro.
And since then, hearing you guys and Nutty speak at youth presence, even, you know, you guys are so cool and so great for my generation and doing that. And I guess there's there's a big shifting at the moment, isn't it, with generations, the whole Gen Z, the difference from when, you know, when you were youth pastor or even in youth, what that looks like is completely different, you know?
Yeah.
Wow, everyone is looking different, thinks different things. I mean, you've got the classic, like, millennial, you know, ask why, that, you know, like that big authority struggle that a lot of millennials have. You know, the industrial boomer age was just kind of like, you do this, everyone's like, cool, yep, done. And now
for sure.
we ask why. We go, okay, you know, sometimes we think in our heads, oh, I'll do that, but why? But it can sound like, why should I do that? And I mean, I've got in trouble for that before. But then this new generation of Gen Z, who's kind of like, haven't seen the baby boomers of the work hard, why they do it, how they do it. And then they've seen these millennials kind of just questioning. And then there's this weird, you know, I think it's 97 to, I don't know, 2010, or is this Gen Z age of kind of questioning, wondering why, almost not caring anyway, because everything's kind of sorted out. Have you seen that in, I mean, your kids would be in that. How's that going from, I mean, that's a little bit of a turn, going from youth pastor to dad of youth, you know? Like, how does...
Well, I mean, I think it definitely resonates with me what you're saying about the generations, for sure. And I think that the underlying cynicism that's with the millennial generation is around that, you know, why are we doing this? And that anti-establishment kind of, you know, you got like huge entrepreneurialism. But I think the baby boomers, so there's a guy actually right now, he's doing an Instagram live for church. He's a guy in our church, great business guy. He's 51. Wow. So he definitely is of the mindset of little, you know, the Bible, the ant, you know, you slug it, look at the ant, little by little. And he's like, he says, I'm not looking to hit a home run. Like, he's a super successful business guy. I'm not looking to hit a home run, man. I'm just going little by little. That's baby boomer, you know, or even the generation after them. Then you have the millennials, which are like, nah, home run. Don't tell me how to do things. I want to make up my own mind, and I'm all about it. I think what you're saying about your generation, and then when I look to my kids, I love what you've said there, is that one generation removed, so they haven't seen the hard work, which I saw from, like, my mum was single, raised me and my brother, worked hard. I saw that firsthand. Whereas for my kids, that's a story.
Yeah.
And I think that there is that tussle for sure. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting time. And I think that what we're probably finding is that...
that's the third generation.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Yeah, and I think that there's like that, you know, I don't think that they know necessarily how much hard work it takes to achieve a result. That's probably my initial kind of feeling. And that's where I think, just circling back to The Last Dance, man, like, wasn't that one of the number one take-homes? Hard work beat Trump's skill. Jordan is bottoms, bro, pure shooter, buckets. But at the start of, like, in high school, and then when he went to UNC...
He was third drafted, wasn't he? Number 3.
Bro, because he didn't have a jump shot. Bro, he was a highlight reel. Like, he was just like a better version of Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's obviously putting Jordan in a light that, you know, he would feel disrespected by, and I mean the disrespect by that. But at the time, what people saw of him, that's what they saw. That's why he was drafted 3. No one overlooks the fact that the Rockets drafted Olajuwon at 1. Of course, I mean, Olajuwon was always going to go 1 or 2. But you look back and you're like, holy, Michael Jordan was drafted 3, Sam Bowie at 2, because he didn't have a jump shot. Hard work gets him there. And I think that's the difference I'm seeing with the generations, is they go, oh, we'll get there, we'll be fine, she'll be right. It's like, oh no, I actually think we need to put in some effort to get us to where we want to be. Yeah,
it's nuts, hey? I mean, there's the different generations. I saw, you know, someone said, maybe I heard it somewhere, but it's like, you know, the millennial, I mean, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, I don't know. I don't know how all that works anyway. Is that I'm right in the middle. I remember finding out I'm the youngest of the Gen Y or something, or but the oldest of the Gen Z. So I was like, oh, I get the 90s kids things. Like, I get that.
Yeah,
I'm born in 97, but a lot of that still, you know, I can't claim I'm a 90s kid, but I still get those references. But then I get the references of now. Like, it's really cool. But they're saying, and definitely where I grew up in, was to make it big and famous was the goal, you know?
Yeah, totally. Yep.
Be the man, to be on the stage or on the screen, or the millionaire, the big shot. That was the dream. But now they're saying that this younger generation, they don't want to, that's not necessarily the goal. If that happens, cool. They would rather make a bigger change. They would rather be responsible for doing something rather than being someone. And so I wonder how much that is, you know, like a hard thing of being able to, you know, that millennial, like, oh, I want to be someone, whether that's like identity, and then Gen Z that is purpose, you know, and be
I do. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it'd be interesting as time plays out to see what that looks like.
I think so too, bro. Yeah, it's an interesting time, like right in the middle of, you know, what's happening. And I think too, like with COVID, because we're human, we won't learn from our mistakes, and we'll go back as the church and nothing will change, right? You know, that's the cynicism in me speaking. The optimist says we have to learn, and those that are willing to learn, that we are being stripped back to our bare necessity values of love people, touch people, send them out. Like, the churches haven't been emptied, they've been sent. I think that's a Carl Letts quote. Like, that's profound. That's what's happened. Like, we're no longer in buildings meeting. And you know, when Spotify came out, it was interesting because all live gigs just were canned. Artists lost money, and it was just crazy time. Then we swung back to live gigs. Yeah. The Justin Bieber World Tour, Drake, everyone's touring, bro. We had Taylor Swift just carving up the world tours. And we're making all this money back. And then, so there's that pendulum shift. And I think we were so hard in the church, in the evangelical church, into programs conferences, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And if we can embrace that swing back, China was the only country since their Pentecost that saw the same exponential growth as the early church. It's the only country in the last 2,000 years. And they never gathered once together in large meetings because it was illegal. So it was all underground, all small groups, all small gatherings.
As I said, the people met daily. The church gathered daily. People in homes together daily. I love that. Not just a Sunday thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool, man.
Yeah, bro. On the neighbors, man, just on the street, like just catching up for church,
Yeah. That's, crazy. I mean, even this has opened up, Zoom calls and being able to, I mean, you're in Canada and we can chat and, like that's.
I haven't seen you for 2 years.
Yeah. Like that's nuts. So it's
but chalk this up as just like a standard conversation between you and me.
It's true. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, man. Mate, thanks for coming on, jumping in.
Pleasure.
In the conversation. I've got to find a name for the podcast. Do I have a name? I don't want it to be, the Jackson Pearce podcast. I think that's a bit.
Well, no, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that name. What's the purpose of the podcast? We could brainstorm some names now.
Yeah. I'm thinking. I want to hit, like we were saying before about that Gen Z thing. So I'm 22.
Yeah.
But I'd love to hit the, more for guys who are almost like 16 to 22, there's guys who are finishing school or out of school. Other people listen to it. If that's you listening to it, stay on. But really there's not much content out there for people like us, So it's like sometimes I was thinking, mostly interviews, I was thinking.
Yeah, cool.
Because then I get more professionals and it's not the opinion of Jackson Pearce, which, I can rattle on anyway. But I was thinking interview, but I thought that's a bit cheesy, like getting interview. Hey,
what about into view?
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like that was
right,
into
you.
Yeah, like get into the view, into shoes. But who knows, man?
What about enter you? Or what about into view?
Like INTO space VIW. Well, that's what I've got. Like interview, put it into view. I don't know.
Oh no! I'm saying into you.
Oh yeah, okay, I get that. I could work with that. I got.
The thing with thing with brainstorming, you have to flush out the bad ideas.
Yeah, it's true.
That's my job in brainstorms, bro. Suggest the worst ideas, and then the creative guy goes, yo, that's not bad.
Yeah.
What about this? All of a sudden, change the world.
I remember one of those things. I wrote an article in when I turned 20. I called it 20 for 20. Like ESPN's 30 for 30. I called it 20 things I've learned in my 20 years. Half of it was just crap. But I wrote one thing that I still stand by, and it was coming to relationships and ideas and, like dates and stuff. And it was the first idea is always the springboard for what you do, So it's always thinking, okay, someone goes, like, where should we go for dinner? It's like, oh, let's go to the pizza shop. It's like, nah, I don't feel like pizza. I feel like tacos. But, wouldn't have said, I feel like tacos until I said, let's do pizza. So, or even like youth and church. Well, what if we did this? Nah, I was thinking more this. And you're like, oh, okay. You didn't say that initially.
It's the platform.
Yeah, mate.
What about that? The platform.
The platform. It's pretty good. I like that. The platform.
But don't be afraid to say it's garbage. Like I think that's my role with suggesting, ideas. And so you were thinking 18 to 22, 16 to 22.
Yeah.
After school, nothing to do.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking, at the moment, but when everything resumes.
3:30 with Jack. JP. What about Cod Past? That's a play on podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, that's quite gaming, isn't it? That's good.
Yeah, but with the
I like the platform. I do like the platform because it has a bit of little bit of a dig at the platform. Okay.
What about springboard?
Yeah.
But spelt BORED.
Yeah. You know, a spring break that could kick off in America.
Okay.
These are all good ideas. I like this.
I'll take it. Use it.
Yeah, man.
And I'm not looking for any royalties. I tell you what was funny. In the weekend, I preached a message called The Family Priest. And in that message, I quoted John Burns, who's a pastor in Vancouver. John and Helen Burns, they're brilliant, bro. Yeah. And he's like a beast. She's best friends with Bobby Houston. So they're well known, they're awesome. And he said on an Instagram live that I did with him that revival always follows crisis. And in the message I said that John Burns said revival always follows crisis.
Yeah.
Bro, but you know when people quote you, they don't quote who you quoted, they just quote you.
Yeah.
So I texted him, hey man, just so you know, if you ever hear that I've said this, obviously I didn't say it, you said it. Yeah. And when I said it, I quoted you, but people are going to say I said it. So now that I've done that, say it like people just say I said it because
I'm when I was like 12 or something, my dad speaking and stuff, he went to some other church, and the pastor told Dad that when he mentions the kids like us in a message, he'd give the kids coin, like $1, like $2 every story.
Yeah, I paid my kids $5.
Bro, I was like, I remember being Dad, like, he's like, you know, like, who wants cash when I mention you in a message? And I was like, no, like, I don't want that, because I remember it was pretty funny. I was like, I would rather you feel free to mention me than, you know, paying the road. I was just like, just say my name, just put it out there, you know, because then there was all these rules.
Just get me out there.
Yeah, it was like, then there was all these rules, like, if he didn't define which kid it was, we wouldn't get paid. I was like, just say my name, like, from the platform, you know? It's a scam, man. It's a scam, this PK business. Whatever.
Platform.
I like it. I like it.
You said it again in context.
I know. I did that on purpose. The platform. I like that. I think that's quite cool because, I think for a while I wanted to have the platform, and now I don't want it at all.
Yeah, that's it.
And some people would still remember me as wanting the platform, so it'd be like a bit of a pun. I like that.
Our life is a platform.
It's true. It's like the ministry. You know, we've all got a ministry, but it might not be in the ministry. So it's one of those.
They say there are 5 gospels.
Yeah.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and the Christian, but most people won't read the first 4.
Hey, Levi, Marychurch.
I'll see you at the platform.
I'll see.
Nah, it wasn't me. That is a legit theologian. Gypsy, I think.
Yeah, nice. Well, mate, thanks for coming on.
Pleasure, bro. Dude, anytime, man. The platform coming at you.
Mate, I love it.